Looks like I've got some new stories to tell.
Hi guys, Big Monday here, and today I have a
Prepare
guide
for battle.
for Monkey King for you. He's the new hero. He's down on the books as a carry and an initiator. Depending on whether you're position 1, position 2, maybe in position 3, you will play him slightly differently. You can play him as a straight up right click carry, which he works really well as. If you have another super hard right clicker on your team, like a PA, a Sven, you can go a little bit more defensive. You can and build as more towards the initiator route, because you're still going to hit like a truck. I mean, this guy, if he has time to set up and get his max stacks from Jingo Mastery, you can still hit for about 2,000
30
damage,
seconds to battle.
even without big items, and even not focusing on the damage. This guy hits super hard, so we're going to take a look now. First off, in almost all cases you want to level Jingo Mastery first. The reason for that is because of the bonus damage you get and lifesteal. Nobody's ever going to want to trade with you. There's very, very few heroes will want to trade with you, because once you hit them 4 times, you then hit like a truck and you get lifesteal, so you're going to trade really, really well. Now, in almost all cases, you're going to want Tango, Stout Shield, and then just a little bit of extra stats, so why not get a Circlet, why not? If you're against a melee hero, sort of safe lane versus off lane sort of thing, you're against somebody who can't harass you a lot right at the start, somebody like a Timbersaw, like a Clockwork, these melee off laners, you can often get away without getting your getting a healing salve, because they're not going to want to trade with you. A Timbersaw is kind of a counter to Monkey King because of his ability to destroy trees. And if he destroys a tree you're sitting in, it stuns you for 4 seconds. So Timber is an obvious counter to Monkey King. But in the laning phase, you hit slow and hard, which means he's not going to get a lot of stacks of reactive armor up, and you are going to hit like a truck. So in the laning phase, you can out-trade a Timbersaw in most cases. So, yeah, Timbersaw's a counter, but remember, in the laning phase, you have a big advantage over a Timbersaw. So,
moving to position.
Once we actually get to lanes, although I might as well stick here for now, you're going to want boots first in almost all cases. You need that extra speed. If you can chase someone down, get Jingo Mastery up, you're going to start hitting like a truck. Even if you don't manage to kill them, you can then use the Jingo Mastery charges to farm creeps. The farming creeps gives you the extra lifesteal. It's going to keep you healed, so you can't get chased out of lane. Now, in the Steam build, there's a Ring of Aquila. And if you are getting harassed a lot, the extra armor, the extra mana regen, if you're getting left alone a lot and you're spamming maybe the Boundless Strike to have to last hit, which you usually shouldn't do, but if you're having to spam the Boundless Strike maybe to run away or whatever, the extra mana regen, the extra sort of base stats is going to help. Usually you can skip the Ring of Aquila and go straight into an Echo Saber. We'll talk more about the Echo Saber in a minute. Ring of Health, again, if you're getting harassed a huge amount and you think you're going to need a Vanguard early game, by all means get the Ring of Health. In most games, though, I find you don't get harassed enough to justify this. What you really want to get is an Orb of Venom first. And what that's going to allow you to do is going to allow you the speed advantage to get Jingo Mastery. And Jingo Mastery is where the magic happens. Now, it's a choice of boots first or Orb of Venom first. Now, if you're in a tri-lane situation, you probably want to get the Orb of Venom first, because it's going to give your team chance to catch up with their slows, with their stuns, with their damage. But if you're on your own or you haven't got good catch on your supports, I'd probably go boots first, then into Orb of Venom. That's going to give you a huge movement speed advantage over the enemy team. There aren't many heroes that will be able to escape Jingo Mastery. Maybe a Slark, maybe a Mirana, but they're going to have to spend mana and then wait out of range until their escapes are back up, which is a good thing. So, Orb of Venom first. Now, the reason I've got a Blight Stone down here is because Wukong's command, all your monkeys get your right-click effects. They get your damage, and they get any bonus modifiers that are on your right-click. So, -2 armor from the Blightstone doesn't sound like a lot, but when you get it at level 6 and you go into team fights against heroes who've got between 0 and 4 armor,
Missing top.
then -2 is actually quite a significant buff. If you can fight a hero that's got 0 armor with a Blightstone, they get quite a big damage amplification. Yeah, it doesn't sound like that much, but when you bear in mind it applies it to everyone in the area. If you show up to a fight, let's say somebody ganks your offlaner, you TP in, you drop Wukong's command down, all of a sudden there's 4 enemy heroes there, and all of them are taking anywhere between 5% and 20% extra damage, depending on how much armor they had in the first place. That's quite a lot of extra damage. If you had something like a Bristleback who's does a physical nuke, and you can amplify that damage, that's going to synergize amazingly well with such a big AoE minus armor. It also applies the AoE slow. Now, a lot of people don't appreciate the Blightstone because of why it's only -2 armor, and yeah, 20-30 minutes into a game, -2 armor's not really going to be worth it. Because of the way the armor values work, it might be like sort of 2% damage amp. But
Missing
early
top.
game, when potentially you could reduce someone's armor to 0 or negative still, it's a big damage amp. It's actually huge. We'll see if we can. Let's have a quick look. See if we can find Necrophos. He's got 4 armor. Jug's got 4 armor. See, at the moment he's got physical resistance
Ready
of
for
20.
anything.
Let's just get a movement speed advantage so I can close on him.
Yes.
Okay, Necro. So we've got 20% physical resistance.
Let the fighting recommence!
I've not picked up a blight. I was too busy TPing him. Okay.
Let's get on with it!
Let's go get the blight stone.
Yes.
So Jug has 4 armor.
Juggernaut!
Jug's got 4 armor, which he's got 22% physical resistance at the moment. He's actually got 4.7
Top is missing.
armor.
They won't.
First blood. Last of my kind, but first in this.
So now he's got 3 armor. It's 15% physical resistance. So that's 7% bonus damage. If I find a target that's got less than 4 armor, if I can get him down to 0, it's an even bigger damage amp. But at the moment, this is why it kind of gets devalued a bit, because as we come later into the game and everybody gets bigger armor values, because of the way positive armor works, it's less and less effective. So, other abilities. You almost always want to max Jingu Mastery first. Jingu Mastery is what's really going to keep you alive. It's what makes you so hard to trade with. And the lifesteal is what's really lifesteal is what makes you survivable on this hero. Basically, whenever you drop a Boundless Strike, it applies a normal right click to everyone under the area of the Boundless Strike, which includes the Jingo Mastery 50% lifesteal. So if you can be about to die in the middle of an enemy team. If you get Jingo Mastery up and then drop Boundless Strike on a whole enemy team, you can pretty much full heal from it. So this is what's going to keep you alive.
I'm fine with waiting and
Run
all,
away
but
from
let's
this guy now.
We
go!
find trouble.
So let's level up. So yeah, almost
In
always
fine
want to max
form.
Jingo Mastery
Top is
first.
missing.
What you probably want to do is go a level in Boundless Strike, because that allows you to pick up kills from a long range. Once you've got Jingo Mastery up, this is going to let you sort of pick up kills as somebody runs away. And then you probably want a value level in Tree Dance.
Let's go.
Tree Dance is your initiation. A lot of people are buying a Shadow Blade on Monkey King, and they are wrong. This is one of the longest range initiations in the game because
Let's
I can
move.
jump to a tree here, and then I can jump over the river here. Now, I channeled that for 4 seconds there because it gives you more slow, but you don't have to. What you can do is you can initiate at 1,000 range, like that. And
Missing
then
middle.
immediately
I'll
jump
go
down,
where the
like that.
action is.
This is a massive initiation range, so don't bother with Shadow Blade. If you need a Shadow Blade to initiate with this hero,
Let's get a move on.
then you're not thinking through your initiations well enough. Because like here, for example, look, I've got somebody TPing in, and I can jump straight to the back. And being a bot,
Trouble.
he cheats.
Here
He
I
knows I'm
come.
going to do it.
I'm under attack.
This is what I mean about trading. Now watch this. All of a sudden, I hit like, even though he stole most of my damage, I hit really hard. I have now got 17 damage. He's going
Moving,
to kill me.
damn
You
it.
see what I mean here? I hit really hard, even without
Your
the
bottom
extra damage.
tower is under attack.
So, let's get the items I usually recommend up while I'm dead, and we can talk about...
You really should look at your bottom tower.
we can talk about moving into the mid-game
Nothing will
items.
keep me
Let's
down.
just max Wukongs. Now, when you hit level 6, it's worth saving a skill point for a little while. Now, if you move into starting to have lots of team fights, Wukong command is really, really good. But against single targets, it's not very good. Most of the time, by the time you set it up, a lot of the time they're going to leave. It's not that great. So, you end up in this situation where Wukong's is much better for a team fight, but Boundless Strike is much better if you're going to try and kill someone in your lane. So what you usually want to do once you hit level 6 is save the skill point. Get a TP ready in your inventory. If you see your top lane being ganked, TP in, level up Wukong's command, cast it over the top of the team fight, and then go to town on the team fight. If you get a kill opportunity in your lane, start getting Jingo Mastery up, level up Boundless Strike, and then use the extra damage from that to finish the kill. It's not always worth taking Wukong's command straight at level 6. Save the skill point and wait and see. Take it if you need to show up to a team fight. If you don't, just skip it. It's not useful 1v1 until you have some sort of big slow or stuns or other right-click effects applied to it. Or you're fighting under enemy objectives where you want to place it down as a zoning skill. So let's get these items up. I'm going to take Wukong's command now. I'm also going to level up to level 11, so we'll max that. We'll max the crit, and we'll put a level in that. Okay, so early game, phase boots. Now, there is some merit behind taking
Don't let your middle
Power
tower
Shreds
fall.
to give you the extra attack speed to get Jingo Mastery up faster and give you that extra tankiness. However, you get 24 damage from phase boots. Once Boundless Strike is maxed with the crit multiplier, that's 48 extra damage, and that's quite a big bonus move speed when you're trying to chase someone down. So, usually worth getting phase boots over anything else. I say there is some merit to power shreds, but you usually want to go phase. So, your shield, once you get to this sort of point, is only really going to be taking up a slot until you're ready for the Vanguard. So dump it for other things if you need to. As we're not noobs, we'll have TP. So yeah, like I said earlier, bear in mind, this is now going to apply the Orb of Venom slow and the Blightstone minus armor to a whole team fight. So your next item, once you've got these sort of early game items, is almost always going to be Echo Saber. This gives you a decent strength boost, so it gives you a lot more HP, makes you more survivable. It gives you enough mana regen and int to be constantly out on the map. You're never going to have to go home. It increases your farming speed, and most importantly, it applies a slow
A
when
2
you
for
hit,
1 deal.
and it applies a double hit. The slow is long enough to guarantee you a third hit, So assuming that your enemy reacts instantly and has ways to escape, you are going to get 3 hits on that enemy every single time. If
Your
they
bottom
don't have
tower
ways
is
to
under
escape
attack.
and they don't react instantly, you're almost always going to get the 4th hit. And the 4th hit is good. So it's going to take you 1 point.
Your middle tower is under
basically
attack.
About 1.2 to 1 to, depending on your exact attack speed, 1.2 to 2 seconds to get Jingo Mastery up, and then
Your bottom tower is
you
under
bound the strike
attack.
crit that anyone
There's
who's
really
shown
no
up
reason to
and
stand
wipe
for
an enemy
this.
team. But this allows you to get pick-offs on anyone you can see. I've not played against anyone yet who, if I come up against them one-on-one,
I'll take your
once you've got this, you can't. I don't know any heroes I couldn't kill one-on-one if I get this item. So you get the Jingo Mastery stacks and then right-click the hell out of them. That goes through magic. The right clicks go through magic immunity, so BKBs won't help. The only thing that could save someone is the Omni Knight's magic immunity, but you got to rely on being magic immune then, which is not going to help you for long. Just going to hold on to the Boundless Strike, and there we go. Okay, so BKB. Let's talk about BKB briefly. I don't like BKB on Monkey King because his ult applies any right-click effects. Well, I like to go all in on the right-click effects. Now, that's not the safe way to play, so there's a lot of sense behind getting a BKB. It is going to take you a little bit of time, especially when heroes have got escapes to start building force stats. It's going to get you a little bit of time to get the Jingo Mastery charges up, which is what's really going to allow you to wipe enemy teams. If the enemy team is smart though, they're going to buy disables, they're going to buy slows, they're going to buy ways to stop you getting those charges and delay you. So what can happen is you get killed before you get Jingo Mastery up. If you get Jingo Mastery up, the lifesteal combined with the crit and just the massive area on Boundless Strike pretty much is a full heal. So if you're nearly dead, that's fine. But you need to be able to reliably get the Jingo Mastery up. So in a lot of games you are going to want a BKB just so you can guarantee getting in there, getting the Jingo Mastery up. Now, I almost never buy BKB because what I like to do is go Scaddy. Let's send the courier. I just noticed the courier has a backpack too. I wonder if it can use it. But okay, so what I like to do is go Scaddy, Basher, into Abyssal Blade. The Abyssal Blade gives you the Vanguard bonuses, so that makes you a lot tankier, takes you a lot longer to die. So we go Scaddy, we go Abyssal. Now we can apply all right click effects. It's worth mentioning the Mjolnir while we're talking about this, because Mjolnir, Mjolnir procs with the Boundless Strike crit and with your monkeys in Wukong's command. Basically, when you drop a Boundless Strike over the enemy team, it applies a normal right click to them. So let's say you have an enemy team who is trying to fight you under one of their own double creep waves. I mean, let's face it, most people are going to push while they've got a big creep wave. So let's say they come in during a double creep wave. There's 8 units there. Then you have a whole enemy team who are nice enough to group up. You've got 5 more units. There's 13 units there. That is 13 procs of the Mjolnir, which is going to give you statistically about 3 lightning bounces. 3 lightning bounces are going to bounce to all of the enemy heroes. That's up 450 damage. So if you drop a Boundless Strike over an enemy creep wave and an enemy team as they're pushing, that's 450 damage to everyone.
Your middle
just
tower
from
is
the
under
Mjolnir's
attack.
lightning bounces. That's before you consider the damage you get from Boundless Strike. That's before you consider the damage you get from Jingo Mastery. That's before anything else. So Mjolnir can be really good. What I prefer to do is go Abyssal Blade, Monkey King, Bar, Eye of Scaddy. So the Eye of Scaddy applies a 35% slow to everyone in the area of Wukong's command. But all your monkeys can also bash, from the Abyssal Blade and bash from the Monkey King. So you have this situation where they're always slowed and they're
Middle
very
tower's
likely to get
down.
bashed. So
You
you
just
cast
let
a
them-
Wukong's command and just nobody can move. So,
I'll fight anyone that gets in my
how
way.
do we want to use Wukong's command?
They
Now,
can't stop me.
this is going to depend on whether you're going aggressive or whether you're going defensive.
They won't know what hit
Here's a
them.
perfect example. When you are going defensive, what you don't want to do is hide somewhere in fog, as close to the fight as you can possibly get. You see, this is the cast range of Wukong's command here. What we're going to do, we're going to wait till an enemy team is pushing in. And then we're going to cast it right at the edge of its cast range.
Showtime.
And then we're going to initiate at the back line of the enemy team. Now, what we don't want to do is walk outside the circle
Let's
unless
talk
we
about
really
your
have
top
to.
tower.
Walking outside the circle will dispel Wukong's command. But if you wait till an enemy team is committed to a tower and then you cast the Wukong's command, it ensures you get all that extra damage, all those extra slows, all those extra bashes reliably. One of the problems with
I'm
Wukong's
ready.
command is its setup time, which is why it can be a bit iffy in initiations. If I want to say jump in, for
No
example,
one's catching.
and
Where
then
do you
cast
think you're
Wukong's
going?
command, watch how long this takes to
My
set up.
legend
It does take
grows.
quite a while. If you've got heroes like a PA, if you've got people with instant stuns like a close range Sten, and who doesn't have to rely on the travel time, or you've got the Enigma against you, people who can stun you during that cast animation, you're going to end up trying to jump in and not being able to cast Wukong's command. So it can be quite difficult.
Time to move.
So yeah, like I said, you want to hide in trees, you cast it, you wait till the enemy team commits, till they're sort of standing here, you cast it as deep as you can, and then you dive to the back and cast your slow at the back, and you cut off their retreat. So the other way you're going to want to use it,
Hope we find trouble.
occasionally you'll get an opportunity where you cast it from fog,
They can't
like this.
stop me.
Taking the high ground.
And that gives you a really good setup.
Your middle tower is under
If you
attack.
get an opportunity like that with somebody who's scouted for you in the jungle maybe, or you just happen to be coming from the side like I was there, it can really have a big impact on the fight. Get good positions on Wukong's command.
You really should look at your bottom tower.
So,
Ready for
other ways you're going to use it. So, when you arrive
Your
to push
bottom
an
tower is under
objective-
attack.
Just refresh. When you arrive to push
Yeah.
an objective, you're quite often going to have this problem. The enemy team are going to be hidden in trees. Or
Do you know who I am?
they're not actually here yet, they're about to TP in. Wukong's commando lasts for 15
On the
seconds,
move.
so what we could do, we can run in like this, we can cast it right at the edge of the cast range.
Watch this trick.
And you see, straight away we get vision, the monkeys give us vision, and we can choose to then initiate. We can dive the back line. The important bit though, the important bit is that it gives us this zoning. It gives us this big area, sort of this big, where our team can safely sit and push the tower. And then we can just wait in trees, waiting for enemy heroes to come and contest them, and then we jump someone at the back. And that's how you do it to push objectives. You cast it from fog, then you sit on trees waiting, and you wait. If you get on a tree, say here, right next to your team, if you want to jump further to someone right at the back, you can jump like that.
Where do you think you're
If
going?
you want to, or you can jump
You can
right
see
in the
everything
middle,
up here.
down here, in the middle of the fight that's happening, and drop the Bounder Strike on everyone. But the point is, it gives your team 15 seconds, well, sorry, 14 seconds at this level, but up to 15 seconds of where they
Dire
can stay in this
structures are
area
fortified.
safely. If your team wants to retreat, the enemy team is going to run through all these monkeys that are going to do huge damage, slows, bashes, whatever items you picked up. So this gives you a way to safely push objectives. The monkeys won't attack objectives for you, but they will. They will have massive impact on any enemy heroes that come in. Now, you can use the
Here
same
we
trick
go.
further up.
I'll
We can
go
do the
where
same
the
thing
action
here.
is.
We can sort of come up here, check the edge of the range. We can put it right at the back of the tower here.
Leave it to me.
And then we can jump into the
Nice
trees
view.
and initiate right at their back line.
Let's get
And we can do
there.
the same. We can do the same here. This one, while pushing towers, is really good. because
They
we can
can't
come up
stop
here,
me.
Watch the range again. We can put it right here, and then we can dive
Over
right
here.
over the wall and
Here I
jump
come.
anyone sitting up here. Again, being careful to stay inside the
Right.
range of Wukong's command. But if I'm
Your
getting
bottom
focused too
tower is
hard, I
under
can run
attack.
all the way down here. And how many enemies can run this long route around the wall while they're getting hit by my monkeys, while they're fighting my team? How many enemies could chase that?
You really
And
should
then-
look at your bottom tower.
As the fight
Dire
is
snow
progressing, we could
fortified their
find that even
structures.
though I'm low, there could be an opportunity for me to go back in. I could just go over the wall.
Your bottom tower is
And
under
because I'm
attack.
not going to have good lifesteal from Jingo Mastery, I can do these sort of really sort of iffy plays. Go
Little
straight
help
over the
here.
wall. So, a couple of honourable
Yes.
mentions that I've skipped in item builds.
Let's talk about your
Diffusal
top
blade.
tower.
Your Wukong's command monkeys will drain mana with those. Sanjin Yasha, the slow from Sanjin Yasha. That applies by all your monkeys as well. So if you want to go the most bullshit slow build ever, you could go Skadi Sanjin Yasha and just nobody can move. Battle Fury. Battle Fury is
Don't
a good
let your
farming
middle
item.
tower
In
fall.
most cases on Monkey King, it's not that good though. You do get it applied by the monkeys, but in order for you to really get good damage on an enemy team
Your middle
like this,
tower is under attack.
you would need another hero on your team that can gather the enemy. So an Enigma, or
You really should look at your bottom tower.
an Enigma would be good because he can black hole, and then
Radiant have
all your
fortified
monkeys
their
would cleave
structures.
the whole enemy team. A Magnus would be
Don't
good because
let
he can
your middle
RP,
tower
and all
fall.
your monkeys would cleave the whole enemy team. So you bear in mind, you got 10 monkeys. If you get a 5-man RP, every single person gets hit at the same time.
Your middle tower is
They're going
under
to get
attack.
hit by your normal right click, and they're going to get hit by 4 instances of cleave. And generally, if you've got an RP, you're guaranteed 2 hits, even though the monkeys are really slow. So you're guaranteed 2 hits. Probably 3 by the time everyone's had chance to really move. So chances are everybody's going to get hit by 3 of your right clicks and 12 instances of cleave. So
Regeneration.
hang on, so 4 instances of cleave, that's going to do 30, 60, 90, 100.
The enemy's top tower just shattered into
It's going to do
little pieces.
140%. So basically, yeah, every single time your monkey's hit, they're going to get hit by your right click and 140% of your right click as cleave damage. So you get 2.5 times your right click, which is kind of insane considering this guy. And you know, look, I'm currently hitting for 360. So every single person, if you get an RP and a Battle Fury, every single person is going to get hit for about 800 damage after depending on their armor. Every single person is going to get hit by 800 damage at least twice, probably 3 times. 8, 16, 2400. So that's 2,400 damage if you've got a Magnus to keep them all together. If not, then the cleave damage is going to be minimal because each guy is only going to be hit by the
On
odd
it.
one. But keep an eye out. If somebody's like, oh, I really want to play Magnus, bear it in mind. Buy a Battle Fury as an early item. It's good for farming, and it's
Very
going to
well.
mean that your ult does massive damage.
Watch this trick. I'm just getting... Nice try. It's over.
Okay. So, talents. Let's level up to max. And we'll talk about talents. Now, like I said earlier, you can play this guy as a straight up right click carry, or you can play him as an initiator. Now, what you want to consider is, have I got am I the hardest right clicker we're going to have? If the answer is yes, you're going to go for the carry build. You're going to go attack speed, movement speed, damage, and bigger crits. If you've got somebody else who can deal a huge amount of right click damage, and you're lacking initiation on your team a little, you need to be the initiator. So you're going to go armor, health, strength for the extra health, and magic resistance, so you can't get nuked down when you jump in. You are still going to hit like a truck. I mean, one of the beautiful things about Monkey King is if you wait till if you combo your spells well, you can still Boundless Strike crit the whole enemy team for about 2,000 damage, even without going full right click. So if you go more towards the initiator role, then you are still going to hit like a truck, but you give your team a way of reliably initiating. If you've got somebody like a PA or a Sven who can use that time to clean up, or just instantly crit someone down, then you don't need to do all the right click yourself. So just consider, am I the strongest right clicker we've got? Am I the only right clicker we've got? If the answer is yes, you build all damage and you hope your team can keep you alive. If the answer is no, you look for more ways to initiate, so you can be more flexible in a fight. But either way, your items are going to be pretty much the same. Usually Echo Saber first into Eye of Skadi. Pick up a BKB around the 20-minute mark.
Your middle tower is under
if you need
attack.
it. If you can, be greedy. Don't build a BKB. If you can, if you're getting away with fighting without a BKB, just build more right-click effects. Because who doesn't like more right-click effects? But if somebody's killing you, then buy it. If the enemy team has a lot of stuns, then get BKB. What you don't want is to dive the back lines and then to be separated from your team while the enemy nukes the crap out of you. So, if the enemy does have a lot of ways to lock you down, get a BKB. But if the game isn't going to allow it, be greedy, just get the extra right click effect like I've got here. See, let's drop that, we don't need it. Bash and more bash and lightning. And there we go. So
Ooh,
important things to consider.
Abyssal Blade. Let's
to
get a
quickly
move on.
refresh. Don't jump on any targets that have reliable escapes, because you're going to end up chasing somebody
Ready
forever,
for anything.
trying to get the Jingo Mastery charges up. You need to reliably get Jingo Mastery up before you kill.
I was expecting
So
competition.
if you're trying to put it on a Slark, not going to happen.
I'll
if you're
go
trying
where
to
the
put it on a
action is.
Marana, probably not going to happen. Timbersaw, probably not going to happen. So just be careful picking your targets. Pick the target that's not going to be able to escape. Okay, always make sure you get Jingu Mastery up before you drop a Boundless Strike. Boundless Strikes, damage, most of it comes from Jingu Mastery, so make sure you get that. Wukong Command can be
Don't
quite
let your middle
awkward to
tower
get a
fall.
good position, but bear in mind it also gives you another 90 damage, which is
Your middle
applied to the
tower has
Boundless
fallen.
Strike. So if you can
Your
get a
top
Wukong's
tower is
Command
under
up
attack.
first. You won't always be able to do that because sometimes you're going to go super deep, be nearly dead, and have to
let's
instantly
talk
Boundless
about your
Strike
top
the
tower.
enemy so you can get the lifesteal. But
There's
if you get
no
time,
more top tower. I
set
thought
Wukong's
this might
Command up
happen.
first, it will do a lot more damage. It does 90 extra damage. With the crit, it's 180 extra damage. That's 180 to everyone in the big area you drop the stick on. So, if you can, it's worth
Hope
doing.
we find trouble.
And yeah, and don't buy Shadow Blade. Do not buy Shadow Blade. You can
Time.
initiate
I'll go high.
from this range. I mean, look, that's like 2 screens away. It's insane. Don't buy
They
Shadow.
won't
Please,
know what
God,
hit
don't buy
them.
Shadow Blade. And 2-shot Juggernaut.
What's the opposite of
Everybody likes
Regicide?
2-shot and Juggernauts. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. And I think if
You
I
think
picked
you
anything,
can
I've
beat
picked
me?
anything. Nothing massive anyway. I mean, I could go into a lot of detail.
Yes.
But I think that pretty much covers the important stuff. So,
Okay.
there you go, guys. Go play Monkey King. Have fun. let me know how it goes, and maybe I'll make a slightly more detailed guide, but I think that's pretty much it. I know I've not mentioned this, but it sucks. It's fun.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Okay, let's...
Okay.
Okay, before we sign off, let's do this, right? If you take damage, it
They'll
dispels it.
never see it coming.
Basically, you can turn yourself
They
into
can't
a tree.
stop me.
You are still a
Time
selectable
to have
unit
some
while
fun.
you are that tree. I think you're a selectable. No, maybe not. I'm not 100% sure on that. But if any AOE spells or other damage sources, you'll die. It doesn't necessarily turn you into a tree. It turns you into something based on your surroundings. If you do it in lane, you are likely to become
Ready
a
for
courier.
anything.
And you can basically pretend. This is how you can initiate. You can sort of run up to someone,
From here
pretending to be a
to
courier
there.
delivery. Basically, you say you've got an ally in lane. You can sort of, I'm coming to deliver this
I'll
item,
go where
and
the
then
action
all of a
is.
sudden, you can initiate it like that at their backline. So you got this kind of bullshit thing you can do. You can also,
Let's
if you're
get a
running
move on.
away, you run round trees and then turn into a tree. The reason I've not really talked much about this, and I don't think it's that good a spell, is AoE damage dispels it instantly, and if you're playing in high level games and once people have got used to this map more, they're going to notice trees out of place. I mean, nobody's noticing it now because there's a lot of new layouts to the trees, but once we've all been playing the map for a long time, everybody's going to see it. So I don't think it's that good. There's
Yes.
some bullshit plays, and I'm sure
Time
once
to
we
have
get,
some fun.
when I make a more in-depth guide, I'm sure I'm going to end up talking quite a lot about
Got it.
how to initiate with some bullshit courier madness by
Here I
pretending the
come.
enemy is about to feed their courier and shit like that. But
I journey forth.
I don't think it's going to have that much impact in high-level games. Maybe it's abusable in lower-level games, but there we go. Okay, guys, have fun with Monkey King. See you all soon. Bye-bye, guys.